some say it's a hazard. That black girl magic. Talk about the black girl magic. Melanin popping the classic. Beautiful, some say it's a hazard. That black girl magic. The black girl magic. The black, 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 black. The black girl magic. The black girl magic. Melanin popping the classic. Beautiful, some say it's a hazard. The black girl magic. I'm talking about the black girl magic. Melanin popping the classic. Beautiful, some say it's a hazard. The black girl magic. Thank you. My name is Melody Jones. On the keys we have Gabe. On the drums we have Sam. On the bass we have Robert. And we're gonna be vibing to this for a little bit. So I do hope you enjoy. This song is from my debut EP titled The Start. It's called Another Level. We've been a thing, but thinking maybe we might. I just wanna get it right. You reap what you sow, and everything is just right. I just wanna take a bite. Now you're in my zone, you can call it home. Yeah, tonight is on. I said welcome to the pleasure dome. Born with alone, but turn off that phone. Moaning cause I'm grown enough to please you. I think it's time we take it there, yeah. Cause I'm yours, you're mine, you ain't going nowhere. Take it to another level, babe. Another level, babe. Take it to another level, baby, yeah. Another level, babe. Take it to another level, babe. Yeah. Take it to another level, baby, yeah. Now that you're comfortable, let's take it nice and slow. Let your body speak to mine. You read the signs, I mine. See what's yours is mine, and what's mine is up to you. I wanna touch and taste, forget the time and place. Focus on what's next to you. I think it's about that time. Let your body unwind and let me do what I want to do. You know, you got me in my zone. Cause baby boy, you know that.
Hello everyone, how are you doing? My name is Winshana Lomba. Welcome to the first annual of monthly Virtually Yours. This month we're hosting it here in South Africa, Johannesburg. So I'd like you to...
Après-midi, nous sommes en Afrique du Sud.
Thank you so much for joining
Et
us.
je suis
Today I'm very
l'hôtesse
excited. We have the
de cet
wonderful
après-midi.
on here today. I'm so excited to hear her insights and what
Je
she's
suis très
I'm
excitée
very
de vous
excited
savoir
for the
tous
conversation that's going to happen with our
et d'avoir cette conversation.
So I would just like you to open your cameras so we can just say hi to one another from everywhere in the world.
Donc, veuillez ouvrir vos caméras pour que nous puissions nous voir partout dans le monde.
Hello! Lovely to see so many
Bonjour.
beautiful faces.
Très bien de vous voir tous.
So now what I'd like to do is I'd like to give just a few minutes to let maybe a few people come in and just to make sure that everything is in order, and then we will start. Is that okay with everyone?
Nous assurons que tout est en bon ordre et ceci nous permet à commencer.
Wonderful. So we just give a few minutes while if people
Alors,
come in, maybe just
minutes.
2 more minutes, and then we start.
Encore quelques minutes.
Hello, everyone. It seems like we're having a bit of a technical
Bonjour.
difficulty with the
Donc,
translation.
nous avons
We're
quelques
just trying to figure
difficultés
it out.
techniques pour
And
la
unfortunately,
traduction
Zakisa is running a bit
simultanée.
late because she's having issues with her
Euh,
Wi-Fi.
Nous
What I will
devons
do is I'll
aussi
just play
voir
some
comment
music
nous
so that
pouvons
I'll just
régler
wait
ce
for her
problème.
and we can
Et
try
il y
and
aura
resolve the
un peu de
situation.
musique
It shouldn't take too
entre-temps.
long. I think she'll be in just now.
Et ça sera réglé bientôt. Merci pour votre patience.
That it's all. I'll make it right, whatever's wrong. Just listen, babe. Oh, just listen, baby. I think it's time we shut it down. So sit on your throne and now bring your crown. Take it to another level, babe. Another level, another level, another level, babe. Take it to another level, baby. Yeah. Another level, another level, another level, babe. Take it to another level, babe. Another level, another level, another level, babe. Take it to another level, babe. This is JM Remix. Let's go. Yeah, yeah. Now that you're comfortable, let's take it nice and slow. Let your body speak to mine. You read the signs, I mine. See what's yours is mine, and what's mine is up to you. I wanna touch, taste, forget the time and place. Focus on what's next to you. Hey, I think it's about that time. Let your body unwind and let me do what I wanna do. You know, you got me in my zone. 'Cause baby boy, you know that it's on. I'll make it right, whatever's wrong. Oh, just listen, babe. Oh, just listen, baby. I think it's time we shut it down. So sit on your throne and now bring your crown. Take it to another level, babe. Another level, another level, another level, babe. Take it to another level, babe. Another level, another level, another level, babe. Take it to another level, babe, yeah. Another level, another level, another level, babe. Take it to another level, baby, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, let's go. Hey.
Yes. Welcome back. Yes, we've sorted out the technical difficulties. Zakisa is here with us, and we can finally
Nous
start.
avons
I'm
résolu
so
le
excited.
problème et nous pouvons commencer. Je suis très
Sorry.
excitée.
Sorry, Munchia, may I just interrupt you? I'm very sorry to do
Pardon,
this.
mon chien. Je m'excuse pour l'interruption.
We have a technical issue with the simultaneous translation because
Nous
we don't
avons
have the
un problème
setting
technique
for
avec la
the
traduction
French.
simultanée.
I don't know, Sukiswa, Bisi and Munchia, if you would like to have a consecutive
Je ne
translation
sais
or
pas
how
si
we
vous
deal with
voulez
that
que ça se passe
situation.
de façon consécutive ou comment allons-nous régler la traduction simultanée.
Well, I'm hoping that everybody can speak French.
So we can just have a conversation in French.
Que nous pouvons parler en français aussi. Ça sera aussi
comme vous voudrez, si vous voulez parler en français ou en anglais, ça n'a pas d'importance.
We can speak in English or in French. It is no problem.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us.
Merci
on this
beaucoup à tous d'être avec nous.
Exciting new Virtually Yours at a new time.
Dans cette émission Virtually Yours.
At a new time, and in all the in the main languages of this continent, which we have decolonized and colonized.
Nous allons avoir les langues principales du continent et aussi de la colonisation.
I'm very honored to have Bisi Adjapon as my first
guest. Je suis très honorée d'avoir ce premier cadeau pour vous.
For 2022, and I am broadcasting from Cheche Books
2022.
In Nairobi.
Et je fais cette émission de la part de Cheche Books à Nairobi.
Yes. Thank you very much, Carmen. If you could just put in the comments,
Merci beaucoup.
Where you are.
Peut-être vous pouvez utiliser la boîte chat pour la communication.
Bisi, you've been on Virtually Yours as a member of the audience, so my sister.
Donc, Virtually Yours est ouvert à tout le monde et bienvenue à ma sœur.
We can't hear you. Unmute.
Vous n'êtes pas audible. Vous devez ouvrir votre microphone, s'il vous plaît.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Fantastic.
Voilà, maintenant, est-ce que ça passe bien? Oui.
Okay, so the problem is, do we wait for the lady to talk? It's
Allons-nous
difficult
attendre la
to
dame
listen and talk.
Parce que c'est très difficile de voir et de travailler sans l'installation correcte de la traduction simultanée.
That's actually not what I said, but what I said was I was having difficulty concentrating because when you're talking and she's also talking,
c'est le problème à me concentrer
before I talk or not.
Et je ne sais pas comment je peux régler ça parce qu'il y a plusieurs voix en même temps. Si je peux aussi permettre de dire quelque chose, je le dis en anglais. Sorry if I may also have the floor just for a short moment. It's Margareta speaking. It is unfortunate that you are not able to put the simultaneous interpretation channels on the system so that I can use them on the screen. And I do understand that Madame Bisi Adjapon is a bit frustrated to hear so many voices. It's not easy. So please let me know what I should do. And can you not ask your ICT technician to look into it and to set it up properly? That would help everyone. Thank you so much.
I'm very sorry. We tried. Sorry, Sukiswa, go on. I think we can't solve it at the moment.
I think what I was going to suggest, Stephanie, is that perhaps we, at the moment, just do in English. And maybe, Margarita, you can just keep quiet for the simple reason that Bisi is going to read and it would take a very long time. We'd end up taking twice the length of time that it would take if there isn't any simultaneous translation. If that's okay with everybody, by a show of hands, please say it in the comments. Just a thumbs up will be fine.
Right. As we kick off, I'm going to request that Bisi, you read a little something for us from this beautiful, funny, sad, heartbreaking book, The
All
Teller of
right.
Secrets.
I'm happy to. I'm going to start. I'm using the US edition because that's a copy I have right now. So, but it's exactly the same thing as the African edition by Wida Books. So I hope you enjoy it. So I'm starting from this place where the girl is about to go and ask for contraception. She wants to use contraception. Monday night after the play, I visit the family planning center next to the university. To my surprise, the women waiting on wooden benches are either mothers cradling newborn babies on their laps or women with the round belly of someone about to birth a baby. There isn't a single young person in view. They throw me looks that say, I'm a tramp, a useless girl. The clinic consists of just a large room with rows of benches similar to those in a village church. A chunky nurse sits behind a table in front with a window to her right. When it's my turn, I sit on the hard chair across from her. She peers curiously at me through her glasses, lacing her fingers. What is the matter? I shift uncomfortably, crackling my knuckles. I just wanted to ask if you could please give me something so I don't get pregnant, a contraceptive. How old are you? I'm almost 18. Her fingers come apart. You look 15. I thought you were in secondary school. No, I'm a student at Legon. She gives me a knowing smile. Small girl like you. So you're enjoying, eh? My face turns heavy with shame, the way it did when I was little and Sister Ya caught me with the mirror between my legs. Still, I forge on. Could you give me the IUD, please? She cocks her head sharply. IUD? Do you know what it does to women? It kills. She points to the picture of a springy-looking thing on the wall behind her. Do you want this metal rusting inside you? Do you want it to pierce your womb and turn it into a sieve? No, I say in a guilty child's voice. Did you know the IUD is just an abortion? It doesn't stop pregnancy. You get pregnant, but the baby can't stay in your womb because there is something in it. Sometimes the baby manages to survive inside and comes out with a metal half embedded in its bottom. Is that what you want, you bad girl? No, but I don't want to get pregnant. Why don't you use condoms or M-code? Or better still, why don't you keep your legs folded together and focus on your studies? I'm sure your parents want you to do just that. I swallow. But I don't understand. Look, is there a doctor I can talk to? What doctor? Are you challenging me? I shake my head quickly. No, I just felt a doctor would. Listen, young lady, I've been working here for a long time. If you don't believe me, ask these women. I know what I'm talking about. The women too raise their voices. They know someone who has died from family planning. Do I know what I'm doing? Do my parents know what I'm doing? Children of today, no respect for tradition, no morals at all. I flee.
Thank you so much for that reading, BC. You know, one of the things, and you know, I'm reading this book for the second time, obviously, because I read it the first time when it came out as, what you call it? Of Women and Frogs. And at that point in time, obviously, you were at Ake, and then you managed to do stuff like Afro-Lit Sans Frontiers. And I wanted to say, as we were doing, as you were reading, one of the things that struck me about this book and why I've always loved it, I, again, enjoyed reading it right through for the second time as I did the first time, and is how, you know, this is a story about a young woman and her sexuality. Well, girl, you know, getting into be a young woman, but it's also very much the history of a country, you know. And I would like you perhaps to speak on that. Like, was it, you know, quite a lot of stuff obviously is like, you could tell it so well because I think part of Essie's growing up is part of your growing up as well. But I was just wondering, like, you know, the violence, I think it is, as far as sexuality is concerned, the violence of this young woman who grows up in a family with women, and therefore, ideally, she should be the one who's like getting everything right, but she doesn't, because everybody tells her she's not supposed to do certain things.
So I guess with history, you're talking about the sexual history, not the political history, right?
I'm gonna come to the political history, but yes, the sexual history.
Yes, it's very interesting to me. When I was growing up, I noticed a lot of things that were going on around me. And there was always this prevalent idea that a girl was not supposed to be curious about her body, or that a girl who was curious about her body was in fact a bad girl. I'm happy to say I did not experience a lot of what AC experienced, but I have friends who did. And I remember the first time I found out about this whole way of punishing girls who explored their bodies. It was through a friend of mine who had come out to play with me, and she was walking in a funny way, and I asked her what happened to her, and she told me what happened. And there's this whole ginger thing, and I don't want to throw in too many spoilers, but she gets punished for being curious about her body. And when you talk about history, I'm sorry to say that unfortunately, even today, it still goes on. Not too long ago, I think it was 2019, I was in the UK, and a Ghanaian woman was actually arrested and put in jail for putting ginger in her son, actually, this time it was a man, her son's anal area. And the poor woman was well, I say poor woman, not because I feel sorry for her, but because she was so ignorant, because she was fighting with the court and said, look, this is my culture. This is what we do. And so it's a tragic comedy kind of situation going on, that you have somebody who is actually fighting for her right to torture her child. And so though it is dying off, it was a practice that was very much so. Women have always been the one, I'm sorry to say, to tell little girls, you're a bad girl for being curious about your body, or you're not allowed to use contraception. And then we also find that men also do it when it comes to contraception. I mean, men don't like to do the punishment. We've noticed that men tend to leave everything to the women, right? And so the women get the flack for being evil. But we see from AC's father's reaction that even though he may not physically perform some of the really awful punishments, he in fact approves of it. He applauds it. So that message is there, But when it comes to contraception, it's not just women who tell women they can't, who tell little girls they can't have contraception. You have men actually doing it to their girlfriends, husbands doing it to their wives, because they don't want anything that they perceive is going to interfere with their pleasure.
Absolutely. And I mean, you have it here as well. You kind of like hint at it, but perhaps without giving away too much, I'm gonna like go a little back. There was something that you wrote that really resonated with me, because I remember when I first read it and I started laughing, and I read it again this time around and I started laughing again. And part of the reason why I started laughing is because I have an exact same scenario in my second novel, which I know you didn't read. So it was so weird that this thing is like all over this continent. You know, we get the same thing. And the situation that I'm talking about is when young Essie first gets sanitary towels, you know, and then she takes it, and then she takes the sticky side and she puts it against her vagina because, of course, you know, well, you know, she's bleeding, therefore, this is how you stop bleeding, right? And then she learns the hard way.
Yeah, unfortunately, and it's getting better, I'm happy to say, but even in my time, when a girl had her period, she had no idea why she was bleeding. And so for those of us, in the absence of any information, it's a really terrifying experience to have, you know, blood gushing out of your legs for no reason whatsoever. And since that area is associated with evil and sin and shame, then you start to wonder, oh my God, are you going to die? Are you going to go to hell for whatever it is that you did to bring on this bleeding? You know, it's an act of shame instead of something to be celebrated.
Girl, the first time it happened to me, I thought I was dying. I woke up like, I was like, oh my God, I'm dying. And then I had an essay situation because my mom came and she was like, and I said, I think I'm dying. And my mom came and she gave me a pack of pads and she said, use this. She didn't tell me how to use it. And then next thing she gathers my cousins and I together and they tell us, yeah, if you play with boys, you'll get pregnant. If you talk to boys, you'll get pregnant. What is that?
Yeah, it's a
But
really
as you say, it's kind of lovely that things have changed because the children, I think the younger, the youth now can talk about these things.
Almost to a very exaggerated, you know, extent, because I remember I had a publication day lunch and a whole bunch of young people came and they sat there and my son happened to be there. And a whole lot of them spent a whole hour talking about, you know, different forms of menstruation and blood and that kind of thing. And one was just completely flabbergasted because he had never heard women talk like that. And I am delighted that women can talk about it like that, you know, because you just couldn't. I mean, if something like that happened to you, all you knew was that, just like you, I was told if I so much as looked at a man, I was going to get pregnant. And that was very, very difficult because I thought men were very lovely to look at. So, yeah.
You know, you've got another incident that I love where, okay, I don't love it. I think it's actually quite terrible. But this woman, this young girl, you know, grows and you know, like when she has like this, her first experimentation with sex is with other women, you know,
Yeah.
in school, you know, and I thought, you know, this is something that happened, and that happened in a lot of boarding schools, particularly girls' boarding schools, but that was never ever talked about, you know, and I think up until today, it's probably happening, but it's never really talked about. It's undercover, you know.
Yeah, and in a way, I liked it because it was not in Ghana here, at least my experience here. It wasn't that it was undercover because we did it openly. We wrote love letters openly. We were encouraged to write love letters. Well, the adults didn't say we could, but nobody said you couldn't. And we read love letters to other women. And, you know, I remember desperately myself, just like AC, I wanted to have the experience of kissing a girl. My experience was that, unfortunately for me, I was pretty ugly and nobody wanted me. So, but
oh my God, what rubbish.
Yeah, but when it did happen, I was very happy.
Sips wine?
Pardon?
Sips wine because of that rubbish?
Sips wine? But I do even remember that in my boarding school, we were practicing how to kiss. And I was one of the few people that had actually kissed someone before, both a man and a woman. And so I remember, you know, there was a whole queue of girls lined up where we were practicing how to kiss, you know, and it was all very funny, teeth clashing and going, no, 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 push your teeth back, don't do that, you know, that kind of thing, or don't slobber, you know. So it wasn't that, it was not undercover, at least here in Ghana. It was something that seemed perfectly okay. And I think, to me, right now, what is happening that I find very distressful is that now everything has to be black and white. It seems as though right from childhood, you're supposed to define your sexuality.
Your sexuality, yeah.
And then the church has also stepped in because, you know, we have now Christianity, or some form of it, is very, very strong in Ghana. There are mushroom churches all over the place.
Oh God, yes.
And now, you know, I've heard stories about girls being told, I think girls being prayed over, or the whole idea is, let's try to exorcise the evil spirit from them, because it's the devil making them do that. And that is such a shame, because, you know, when we were growing up, sexuality was very fluid, and it was considered that kind of experimentation. It was considered a phase. And we all know that some people never got out of that quote unquote phase. And it was just, you know, live and let live. And so, yeah, and it happened in the boys' schools too. I think it was more hush hush.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
In the boys' schools, because I think, I don't know.
Oh, because two women together is exciting, but two men together is because patriarchy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I'll tell you something interesting. Like, I found out when I moved to East Africa is that in Kenya and in Uganda, they actually put paraffin in food at boarding schools, apparently so that they can kill the hormonal whatever in food for children. True story. So there you go. It's something that's still happening.
That is awful. That is just terrible. And it's just amazing the kinds of punishment that people come up with just to squelch sexuality. I think I was talking to a Catholic priest who once told me this, that the whole thing with sex is that society feels it has so much power. I mean, that there is the need to really squelch it. And I find it very troubling because, you know, there were people who actually shunned my book because of the sexual content. I remember asking a close friend to blurb my book, also a writer, who had come to me. In fact, we became friends because she read my book and she approached me at a festival and said, I really, really, really loved your book, and let's see what we can do to get it out into the world. But when I asked her for a blurb, she said no. And she actually told me that she was afraid of how her church would view her, because now, you know, and yet you could write about murder. That's perfectly fine. People can write about serial killers and whatnot. I think people are more comfortable with someone killing someone else than actually having sex that is not hurting anybody.
Right? Now, can we please talk about my favorite guy, Coyote? Like, oh my God, Coyote. I was so in love with him. And I continue being in love with him every time. Right. Now, did you deliberately go out like, okay, the good guy is going to be Nigerian on account of the fact that you stay in Ghana? Or what's the story there? And the bad guy isn't.
Well, I will be honest with you. I think it's a reflection of my own personal experience. In Ghana, I found my Ghanaian family much more conservative than my Nigerian family. My Nigerian family was very much a lot like, especially my aunties, were a lot like the aunties depicted in the book. And people are much more open. And so for me as a young girl, I always felt a certain level of freedom to express myself. So I think I've always had this love thing for Nigeria and Nigerians in general. So I thought I would put him there because the things that Kayode was doing sexually wasn't something that I could at that time conceive of a Ghanaian doing. I mean, of course, I know that it's not at all like that, and that there are lots and lots of sexy Ghanaian men, and they are very, very loving and wonderful. And they
Shout
are
out to Ghanaian guys before Valentine's Day.
and there are bad Nigerian men too, so it's everywhere. But for me, the time that I set the novel in, I felt as though Nigerians were probably a lot more comfortable with their bodies than Ghanaians were at the time. So yeah, that's why I did it too.
All right, and now we go to the political history. Deputy Jesus, who just recently left us.
Junior Jesus, yeah.
No, you know, we've got a politician in South Africa that we call Deputy Jesus. And so when I saw that Junior Jesus, I'm like, yo, my God, this thing is similar everywhere. Anyway, but yeah, JJ and, you know, all the ideas. I think one of the things that got me was how Essie's father gets into this space where he believes this man and then goes and it's this thing that we do with politicians all over the continent, isn't it? We believe when they sell us a story at that point in time, you know, and then afterwards we realize, hey, the moment they come into power, they were selling us something, but it's not what they're delivering. Yeah. So a little bit more about that, like particularly with you having grown up, I think, with that transition and stuff, where initially it was like, you grew up at a time where, you know, like, I mean, initially it was like, okay, oh, Nigerians, they need to get out of Ghana. And then thereafter it was like, Ghana must go begs, you know. The type of violence we visit on each other as a people, as Africans, you know, through Afrophobia.
And it's not just Africans, it's actually something that is worldwide. There is, I don't know what it is in human nature, but it seems to be something in us that desires some kind of a savior. We're not happy anytime something is wrong in our lives. We feel as though the government or some entity can come and rescue us from it. And so the minute you have a charismatic person that comes and sells you a lemon, you're just ready to take that lemon, suck on it and say, we've got some great ice cream. And this happens a lot. I mean, we saw that actually in America with a certain lovely orange-haired person who shall remain nameless. And of course, we saw that also with Kwame Nkrumah. I did not witness him personally, but when he came on, he was very charismatic. And let's face it, I mean, he did do a lot of wonderful things for Ghana. But with JJ came at a time when there was some kind of chaos. We had a bit of, not just a bit, there were shortages in the country, food shortages. People were having to queue up left and right for this and that. And so he came on and suddenly, you know, he was young, he was handsome.
He was hot.
I was about to say that he was handsome. I mean, my goodness. And, you know, he wore sunglasses and he reminded me of one of those bad guys in movies that you root.
The ones that your parents warn you about.
I know, you shouldn't be rooting for him, right? And he always wore sunglasses that gave him an air of mystery. You couldn't really see his eyes. He had his sunglasses on and then his cap. He was an Air Force pilot and would do crazy things like fly under a bridge. He was really very charismatic and he was young. He was.
And do you know, Bisi, did I ever tell you the first time I came to Ghana, they thought that I was JJ's niece. They were like, Agogo sister. I'm serious. So
wow. Yeah, no.
But back to JJ and your book.
But that's what we do. And so when JJ comes on the scene, he seems like a wonderful thing and everybody falls for him. I've always been one of those people that I don't know where that distrust came from, but right from the time I was a child, I've always distrusted politicians. I think it's because I watched the way politics affected my own father. He, once he just would get so excited about politics and about a politician. And I have a big brother who is also like that too. And we get very excited about politics, and you can see, I think, the hope. I think there's always this yearning for something that is going to magically make everything better. And so when they come, what do? We put them on a pedestal, we start to worship, and that's where you get the name Junior Jesus, right? It's almost an act of worship. We don't know how to step back and give them a chance to prove themselves. No, we assume immediately. I mean, the current government that we have is an example. When he came, I mean, we were excited. And I have to say, even I was a little excited. The old cynic in me was quite excited. But it didn't take me long to figure out that he was just human.
Like, oh,
And I think when we give politicians that kind of power, they are able to abuse us and they are able to commit atrocities against their own people. And it's something that we struggle on the continent. You've got your deputy Jesus. We've got people, we've got the people in politicians all over the world, all over, I want to mention certain politicians, but I'm holding back and I just don't want to get into it. So it's really a problem on the continent, and we change a lot. But if you think about it, go all the way. I remember reading this play by Shakespeare. What was the name of the play again? I think it was Coriolanus. You see how the tribunes could just whip up the people, and then they see you as a savior. Even Julius Caesar, they see you as a savior, and then they suddenly change their mind. So
I wonder, one of the things I've often questioned, particularly with the way that we do things on this continent, and I kind of saw that with Essie's father going and doing a presentation because there's been somebody hasn't paid him back a debt or whatever it is, and I started thinking about that. Like, I wonder whether part of the reason why we look at politicians and put them on a pedestal instead of looking at them as servants of the people, which they rightly are. Do you think on this continent it might have something to do with the fact that we come from where we have chieftainships and whatever? So in the end, it's like a leader is a boss as opposed to a leader being a servant. And so these men of the people who've told us they are men of the people when they were campaigning, when they were asking for our votes, will then suddenly have like 6 cars, going with them. And it's like, why are you suddenly scared of the people when you're a man of the people?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that having this kind of pseudo monarchy that we've always had, it's part of it. And the thing with the monarchy is that if you have a good king and a wise king, then everything is really, really wonderful. And if you have a horrible one, then it isn't so wonderful, And unfortunately, I think it's a problem that people of African descent in particular, and I say this because I've been to churches, African-American churches in America, where they refer to the pastor's wife as first lady of the church, and they treat them as such. I've watched this pastor walk in, and he's coming to preach, and there is somebody carrying his glass of water behind him, and the person sits behind him, and then they literally worship. And I think to myself, where did it come from? It must be from our history of having our chiefs and worshiping our chiefs, and it's so good.
Of the Lord's anointed. When anybody ever criticizes them, in that there's a whole bunch of people in the church who are like, touch not the Lord's anointed. you know.
You have the spirit of criticism.
Yes. I'm telling you. In the comments, guys, can we have some questions for Bisi? Otherwise, her and I are just gonna go on and on because this book is fascinating, y'all. It's about a young girl. Just a small summary without giving away anything. Young girl growing up, and you know, and dealing with the different stages of her sexuality, but also dealing with the different stages of a country's changes and surviving that somehow, you know. And so in so much as in certain ways, Essie infuriated me, you know, because I was like, you know better, come on. But in a certain way also I could relate to her because I was like, this is every young girl that I have, every other young girl that I've encountered on this continent. Obviously the excerpt that you read of, you know, nurses saying, you know, refusing her birth control. We've seen a lot of this happening where, you know, a young woman will go, you know, and they'll be like, or a young man will go for that matter, a young man will go and they'll be like, oh, you know, maybe they have like a sexually transmitted disease at the clinic. And then the nurse will say, oh, does your mother know you're having sex? You know? And it's like, but they're supposed to have access to this healthcare and they're supposed to help them and counsel them as opposed to like making them feel scared. So in the end, obviously, you end up having a bunch of young people who will not access these health services that are available because they're so worried about what will happen. Now, Gresham has a question for you. She asks, hi, BC.
I see lots and lots of questions.
Questions. Do you have a next book in the works? Actually, she does. Is a novel your favorite genre?
Well, it is. Actually, I would say drama is plays. I really love plays. My first literary piece was actually a play. And that's because I found my love of literature on the stage. I was a very shy girl. And then my teacher, for whatever reason, cast me in a role of a shepherd. And I guess I did very well because the next time there was a play, I got the lead role. And I've always loved the stage. So playwriting is my favorite, but you know, there are not many plays I get to read. I love the secret lives of Baba Shegi's wives. Oh my goodness, I love that play so much. I love Midnight Hotel.
You and I were part of a crew that got to read a story, like that got to read a play during lockdown.
Yes, yes.
And I thought we should have done that more often.
Yes, and we read that Greek play, and that's because I absolutely love plays. But you know, there are not that many that you actually get to read. But apart from plays, my favorite genre is also the novel. Although I do really love the memoir. I love nonfiction. I really love reading memoirs about childhood, and I'm very fascinated by that. So I do read a lot. Yeah.
Okay. James wants to know, how different is Keep of Secrets to Of Women and Frogs?
It's exactly the same book. They just gave it a different title. And the reason was because a woman in America who thought, you know, this would never, ever matter, published a book and titled it. I got that, obviously my title was really inspired by Hemingway's Of Mice and Men. And when the book came out, then she decided to write a book titled Of Women and Salt. And it was a big book. And so my editors were afraid that if we kept the original title of Women and Frogs, that people would not buy the book and would assume they already had copies. So they twisted my arms, and I agreed to change the title. And so it's exactly the same book. I will say that some portions of the American version, I had to tamper down the sex just a little bit because Americans are very puritanical.
Because the land of the free is not that free.
Yeah, and also it is God's country, and it is a Christian country, and therefore, you know, again, I would say they would sooner have you have the freedom to go down the street and shoot people up than the freedom to enjoy a little sex in your own bedroom. So that's so we had to temper just 2 little scenes that I brought it down a little. I think those scenes were in the girls' boarding school, and maybe the first time she experiences sex. So yeah,
sex. Okay,
that's the only difference. But my next book is a very different book, and I can't wait to share that with you. The working title, and they're already designing a cover for it. It's all done, so we are in the production stage, and it should be coming out sometime towards the end of the year.
We are looking forward to it, and I'm very excited to brag that I've actually read it, a version of it.
I think there was a question. There was another question.
Tayo has a question. Tayo has a question, and I think it has to do with your two male characters. And she says, will you be supporting Ghana or Nigeria in the World Cup qualifier next month?
Now
we'll
that's
support the winner.
I'll be supporting both countries, but I have to say this. When Nigeria plays Ghana, I always support Ghana. And the reason is because, just because I want, to be honest with you, I just want an African country to one day win the World Cup. And so far, Ghana has come the closest to, you know, did they almost make it to the semifinals one year or something like that? So,
friend, I have to say, like, I mean, we've just come out of the Africa Cup of Nations.
Yes, and Nigeria did much better.
Yes, and of course Senegal won, and that was exciting. But you know what was even more exciting for me was the fact that we had like an African coach winning. You know, yes. And he's so hot too.
That was brilliant. It was.
Sis.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so that was lovely. It was nice to see so many African coaches as well. And this particular Africa Cup of Nations. So it would be nice to see how the way changes.
I'm all for hiring the best coaches, but I also like to, it's really nice to see that you can get a really good coach from Africa that can take the team far.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right. There's a comment from Tanzania. Wow, BC, so you had to temper scenes. So these things of Americans banning certain books is no joke. Tony, it is not.
I'm trying to see if there are other questions we missed, but
we may have missed. I'm also
probably. I'm trying to go all the way back. How different is, okay, I've seen that. Do you have a favorite next book in the works? I think I've answered that.
You've answered that, yes.
Sort of, yes. And the rest of it, mostly comments, so I don't think there are any more questions.
Here's a question from me.
Okay.
So, recommended reading. For all
oh my God.
Like, you're like, okay, absolutely, these are I know it's a tough choice to give you, but if you were to say, okay, these are the 5 books you have to read from Africa, go.
Oh my God, I don't even know where to start from. Let's see. I know I enjoyed very much this second book that Aisha wrote. What's the name? The Deep Blue.
The Deep Blue.
Yes. I enjoyed your book, Cape Coast, London. Did I just say Cape Coast?
Did you London, Cape Coast, Joburg.
Cape Town, Johannesburg.
Actually, that would be a fantastic title for it. Hey, London, Cape Coast, Joburg.
Yes, I enjoyed that very much. I've enjoyed reading Leye Adenle's you know, I think
The
crime
the
fiction.
Amaka series.
Yes,
the Amaka series
I
is
really love the
amazing.
Amaka series very, very much. And I also, there is the sex lives of African women that everybody is raving about. And I have,
Yes.
and I've enjoyed that very much. One of my favorites is also this collection, Zango. I think it was Zango, a collection of short stories.
Yes, yes, yes.
By
What you call it? We
Adam
actually had it
Ibrahim.
here. Dreams
Yes.
and Assorted Nightmares.
Yeah, dreams and
Dreams and Assorted Nightmares.
takes place in Zango, so I think of Zango, but
Yes, you always think of Zango.
Nightmares. I like that very much. Let's see. There is a book called The God Child, that was written by an African, and I didn't know about it. I just found that Nano Foria Taeyim. And it's an interesting book. It's set both in Germany, actually. So some of the Germans probably have read the book. And parts of it takes place in Germany and in London. And it's a very interesting book. I found it a very interesting study in culture. So yeah, those are some of my favorite authors.
Okay. Bisi, since we're kind of a bit late, are you able to indulge us with a couple of extra minutes? So we won't finish at exactly 8 o'clock.
Oh, I don't mind at all. I don't
mind. Oh, friend, thank you so much. You're a rock star. Okay, so this is what's happening. Obviously, as usual, we're going to do a book pick of this, which I'm really excited about. This, guys, because we support African publishing, is the Ouida version of this book. And so, yeah, I'll be picking up from here, and I think I'm picking up from people who are already in here from what I'm
so excited. I wish I don't even have a copy, so I'm so excited to see people grab a copy from Ouida Books.
Right? I'm excited about it as well, but because I'm the giver of gifts, the blesser, the ultimate blesser, I also have an extra gift, and I'm in a bookshop right now, Cheche Books, and what I did is I asked Cheche Books that they give one of their, they have all the clients who came in today write their names and phone numbers, because I am giving away a Kindle, World Readers Kindle. And yeah, that's what I'm doing for the Cheche Books readers. But yeah, before I go to the Cheche Books readers, please, can you explain to me the father? This is a man who goes on about how he wants his daughter initially, SC, to be a president and whatever. But at some point in time, he becomes this guy who's like, get married, your husband. What was that?
Unfortunately, it's the dilemma of most African parents, and especially the men when it comes to their women. They want their daughters to go to school and excel and maybe get a really wonderful professional job. And they look at, doctors and lawyers, that kind of profession. But unfortunately, something shifts the minute a child's body goes from two parallel lines to, some curves. And fear, I think, it's fear that sets in. They are afraid that the child is going to maybe be a little too independent, because for the African society, at least for the Ghanaian society, marriage is still the ultimate aspiration for women. That is the way society conditions people to think. And therefore, the father's fear is, one, is my daughter going to get an acceptable and respectable marriage, something that is going to make her be, accepted? You know what she says, what he says to his daughter. His father always says, a woman's glory is her husband.
Is a husband.
So regardless of if you become an ambassador, if you are somebody solving world problems somewhere, it doesn't matter. You represent the United Nations, it does not matter, so long as you are married. And so Essie's father's number one fear is my daughter going to get married? And what do I do to make sure that she gets married? And for that reason, he starts to really clamp down on her and start to, suddenly notice whether she's wearing a bra or not wearing a bra. And then, things intensify from that period onwards.
Thank you so much, Bisi. I could talk to you forever, but I understand we have curfew as far as this conversation is concerned.
Yes. So let's give out some
I think
books.
Munsha needs to go out or something. So I'm going to just do my magic here. First winner. Gisela Silva. Gisela. What's the correct pronunciation? Gisela?
Is she here?
She was here a few minutes ago.
Here. I know
I remember letting her in.
Oh,
yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Okay, so since she was here, we will give her that.
Yes.
I wanted to ask Bisi, if Tayo wins, do we give her the book since she's family?
Tayo is a lady, and I'm sure she would like to give up her copy to somebody else.
Okay.
And she's nodding,
right.
so yes.
All right, next winner, Carmen. Carmen Juarez. I saw you, Carmen.
She also just left. She wrote a message.
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, Carmen over there. 3 more books to be won. Uchenna, you got a book.
Yay, Uchenna here? Yay!
Yes, I'm here. Amazing.
You win something finally after a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much.
Did you get your last book, by the way, that I asked Abubakar to send you?
Not really, but Abubakar reached out to me recently. He's going to send it via his sibling.
Okay, no, that's fine. All right, I'm glad you're going to get that.
Thank you so much.
4th winner. Zoe.
Okay. Can we give it to somebody who is here instead?
Okay, all right. Yeah, let's give it to somebody who's here. Gretchen Bauer.
Hi, Gretchen.
Thank you.
All right, you are our 4th winner. And our final winner for The Teller of Secrets by Bisi Adjapon. Hippolyte.
Yeah. But you know
yes,
what?
I'm here. Thank you very much.
Oh,
but
fantastic.
You know what? There's someone I want to absolutely give a book to, and I'm going to find a way to do it, and that is Ndegwa Nguru.
Ndegwa.
Okay. He has been so supportive, and I would love to give
All right. I'm going to do something amazing for you, Bisi. Ndegwa, come here. I'm sitting next to him.
How are you? I've never met this gentleman, but my goodness, what a supportive fan. He's always, communicating and has been wanting to read this book forever. Did you get a chance to read it?
Not yet, but we.
Oh,
okay.
well
So Cheche is my workplace. This book.
He works at Cheche.
We have ordered The Tale of Secrets.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
And now we've got.
Goethe-Institut, Nabibia made a hand. Hello.
Hi, Bisi.
Okay, and now I am going to select the winner for this Cheche books, people. Yeah. We've got a Kindle here, and right. And the winner, who is not in the audience, but they will be informed by Cheche Books, is Mtembeli.
Yes.
All right.
Mtembei. Yeah. Okay. So Mtembei, you give Mtembei a copy of that. And this has been lovely, Bisi. We look forward to having The Teller of Secrets in Nairobi bookstores. I know it's available in Nigeria. I know it's available in Ghana. It's available in the US and it's colonies like the UK.
Yes. UK, Australia, New Zealand.
And so forth and so on. Oh, Gresham said she's happy to give away her copy of the book.
Oh, Gretchen, you're a lovely woman.
To Ndegwa, I think someone was saying something about giving one to
Ndegwa. Give his to
No. Ndegwa says give somebody else because he works in a bookstore, so he will be able to get access to it.
Well, some of the names I see here, I see your name, Margaret.
Let me pick up one more name and see who comes up.
But this gentleman who has stayed with us to the end, there's a gentleman in the corner here. I can't pronounce his name.
Tonderai. Tonderai.
Yes, he's been here.
I weirdly just picked his name now.
Oh, did I also get picked? Wow, yes. Thank you.
I weirdly just picked you now. All right, Tonde, I'll bring you the book when I come to Johannesburg.
And my sisters were fighting. Thank you, Bisi. Yeah, it's hot here, I mean. Sorry. Thank you, Bisi.
Anyway, all right. Tonde, I'll bring the book to Joburg to you when I come through end of the month. And everybody else, thank you so much for joining us. Next month, hopefully we'll be able to do the translation properly. Next month, we are going to have a beautiful book that I'm absolutely looking forward to reading. My French reading is still not great, so I'm looking forward to the translation. It's called Les Aquatics, and it's by Oswald Levat, and she will be in conversation with my sister from Côte d'Ivoire, Edwige René Dron, and that conversation will be in French and in English. So hopefully with simultaneous, translation. So please, guys, join us and let everybody know about the new time. I know quite a lot of people couldn't make it because of the new time. They are still not quite connected, but yeah, please let everybody know the new time, and we're looking forward to seeing you next month, same time and second week of Saturday as usual. Thank you so much for joining us. Over to you, Munche.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope you guys had a beautiful discussion, Ziki. So thank you so much for that. So many parts of what Bisi was saying, I was so entertained because it's as an African girl, you can really relate to some of the things that you were saying. So thank you so much for, taking the time to explain to us and to just, talk about what you wrote. It's not every time that you get to engage with an author. And I'm sure everyone in the audience really enjoyed it as much as I did. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you the next one that we have next month, as Zakisa mentioned. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play some music to just ease us out into the evening, and then as soon as everyone has left, I will leave I will close down the meeting. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a good Saturday.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, wonderful. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Zooks.
Bye, my darling. I'll catch you.
Okay.
Clap your hands, everybody, if you got what it takes. 'Cause I'm LOB and I'm on the mic and the Jones on the break. See, first you ask where they do that at. Secondly, yeah, I rep that. you own. I'm talking about the black girl magic. Melanin poppin', the classic. Beautiful, some say it's a hazard. Sit on the real, trying to tell you what all we got. Sun rays in the summer, soak up the spot. We retain heat, yes sir, we hide. So don't be jelly, cause when you're not, you're like, that's too black, that's too white. I'm me in the first place, please just get it right. This isn't a debate, this isn't a fight. Don't test on our magic, it comes with a bite. I'm talking about black girl magic. Melanin poppin', the classic. Beautiful, some say it's a hazard. That black girl magic. I'm talking about the black girl magic. Melanin poppin', the classic. Beautiful, some say it's a hazard. That black girl magic. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The black girl magic. Yeah. The black, 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 black. The black girl magic, yeah. The black girl magic, melanin poppin', the classic. Beautiful, some say it's a hazard. Oh, the black girl magic. Oh, I'm talking about the black girl magic. Melanin poppin', the classic. Beautiful, some say it's a hazard. Oh, the black girl magic. Black girl magic. The black girl magic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My name is Melody Jones. On the keys we have Gabe. On the drums we have Sam. On the bass we have Robert. And we gonna be vibing to this for a little bit. So I do hope you enjoy. This song is from my debut EP titled The Start. It's called Another Love. We've been a thing, boy, thinking maybe we might. I just wanna get it right. You reap what you sow, and everything is just right. I just wanna take a bite. Now you're in my zone. You can call it home. Yeah, tonight is on. I said, welcome to the pleasure dome. Born we're alone. Boy, turn off that phone. Moaning cause I'm grown enough to please you. I think it's time we take it there. Yeah, yeah. Cause I'm yours, you're mine, you ain't going nowhere. Take it to another level, babe. Another level, another level, another level, babe. Take it to another level, baby, yeah. Another level, another level, another level, babe. Take it to another level, babe. Yeah. Take it to another level, baby, yeah, yeah, yeah. Now that you're comfortable, let's take it nice and slow. Let your body speak to mine. You read the signs, I'm mine. See what's yours is mine, and what's mine is up to you. I wanna touch and taste, forget the time and place. Focus on what's next to you. I think it's about that time. Let your body unwind and let me do what I want to do. You know, you got me in my zone. Cause baby boy, you know that it's on. I'll make it right, whatever's JM remix. Let's go. Yeah, yeah. Now that you're comfortable, let's take it nice and slow. Let your body speak to mine. You read the taste, forget the time and place. Focus on what's next to you. Hey, I think it's about that time. Let your body unwind and let me do what I wanna do. You know, you got me in my zone. 'Cause baby boy, you know that it's on. I'll make it right whatever's wrong. Oh, just listen, babe. Oh, just listen, baby. I think it's time we shut it down. So sit on your throne and now bring your crown. Take it to another level, babe. Another level, another level, another level, babe. Take it to another level, babe. Another level, another level, another level, babe. Take it to another level, babe, yeah, yeah. Another level, another level, another level, babe. Take it to another level, baby, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, let's go. Yeah, thank you so much. This song is actually from my upcoming EP. Actually, it's probably out by the time you see this. So. Oh, God, Dad. The song is titled E-Vibe. I hope you dig it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ngang mo Shelly vibe. Ngang mo Shelly vibe. Ngang mo Shelly vibe. Please, please, just move on. Ngang mo Shelly vibe. Ngang mo Shelly vibe. Ngang mo Shelly vibe. That's not what I'm trying to be on. I'm out with my girls. Then I see my ex-man thinking, well, damn, what did I do to deserve this? Trying to dodge him, but he laid eyes on me. Always with the drama, see, please, I came to party and forget about you and forget about all that you put your girl through. Can I get an amen? I'm not doing this again. Now I'ma count to 10, and you best be gon' please. Ungangin mo Shelly vibe. Ungangin mo Shelly vibe. Ungangin mo Shelly vibe. No, please, please, just move on. Ungangin mo Shelly vibe. Ungangin mo Shelly vibe. Ungangin mo Shelly vibe. That's not what I'm trying to be on. Said Gelly, Gelly, Gelling. I don't know what you're hearing, but this ain't the time. You crossed the line, don't know what you're doing. No, step back, step back. You won't like that, no way. Oh, say I came to play, okay. So don't be petty. I'ma be by the bar when you're ready. And we can do shots of tequila and throw it back like they brought back Fila. Yeah, alright. All day and all night. Ungangin mo Shelly vibe. Ungangin mo Shelly Shelly vibes. Said please, please just move on. I get more Shelly vibes. I get more Shelly vibes. I get more Shelly vibes. That's not what I'm on. Said I'm not trying to be on. Is it I'm trying to be on. Please, please just move on. Yeah, that's not what I'm trying to be on. Said please, please just move on. That's not what I'm trying to be on. Said please, please just move on. Yeah, that's not what I'm trying to be on. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that one's titled E-Vibe. This one is the title track of my EP. That's what we have right now. It's called The One. I hope you dig it. The One. The One. The One. The One. I'm too fly for this. Now I'm sitting lonely. I just wish that we could afford. Got caught up. This is torture without you here. When will this all end? Now I gotta sit here and pretend that you're not the man I want or need or fell for. It's all you, dear. You are the one that got away. The one that got away. Yeah. The one that got away. Hey, the one that got away. Yeah, you should have been there when I got off the plane. I really thought I would never see you again. 'Cause baby, you fight for what you love, and clearly I wasn't enough. I guess that part made it too rough to get over you. You left me so blue. Said I got the memory Jones to my bones for you. But there's nothing I can do, and there's nothing I can say. You will always stay, yeah, you will always remain the one that got away. The one I'm open for this guy who doesn't own me. I think I should let this go. I really thought this was lit, I know. But baby, so you know, you are the one that got away. The one that got away. The one that got away. The one that got That was the one. Thank you so much. Oh, I forgot to introduce my babies, Di Bagazzo. Say hi, Di Bagazzo. Also from YouTube. Yeah, so this is my loop station. She helps me with playing back live sound for you guys. So yeah, the final song that we're gonna do is titled Monade, Do It Again. And it's I got nothing but love for you. I'm so sugary sweet. If it's nice, you do it twice. So give your girl a repeat. But if you're not feeling it, we can. I don't really wanna rock the boat, rock the boat. If you finesse is the antidote, let go. Ciao, come on that day. We can do it again. Oh baby, we can do it again. Everything is more that day. If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. Ciao, come on that day. Do it again. Oh baby, we can do it again. Everything is more that day. If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. Now, settle down, settle in, grab a gin, baby, just chill. If you want and you feel that you will, then baby, I will. Let's catch a vibe, coming to your life. From inside your mind, you know that you want to, you do. Down them on that day, we can do it again. Oh baby, we can do it again. Every everything is more nice. Know what I mean? If you know what I mean, child, them more nice. We can do it again. Maybe we can do it again. Everything is more nice. Know what I mean? If you know what I mean, yeah, 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 yeah. If you know what I mean, what I mean, what I mean. When I say we can do it again, baby, we can do it again. Everything is when I say, know what I mean? If you know what I mean, something when I say we can do it again, baby, we can do it again. Everything is when I say, you know what I mean? If you know what I mean. Oh. My name is Melody Jones. Thank you so much.